Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining and welcome back to another leather crafting project. My name is David and in this video we'll go over how to restore an old leather watch box by replacing the lining, crafting the cushions and giving the entire box a nice polish using some leather polishing paste. To begin with, we need to know the right measurement of the walls to cut out the leather as precise as possible. We need to make sure the leather that is glued to these walls doesn't leave any excess of glue between the new lining and the old one, and that there's no excess of lining on the edges in the end. So to glue the new lining to the walls, I use a contact glue which holds the leather very strongly together. This glue is applied to the lining and the walls, and you can work yourself pressing the leather to the walls to remove any excess of material left between them and to make sure the black lining is well pressed together with the old one. Now if there's any excess of leather hanging on one side of the walls, it's a good idea to cut it out and leave the lining as even to the edge of the piece as possible. Here you can see the two small walls lined and almost finished. The last step is to add a small piece of lining on the top, and this small piece is the only thing that's going to be visible when assembling the entire walls together, as you'll see later on. Once the leather is glued and dried, we can paint the edge of the lining that is left visible, especially on the small square we've just added on the small walls. So for this I'm using a Fibbings edge coat in black color and carefully just painting those small sections with a leather engraving pen that I use as an edge applicator. Once the wall section is completely finished, we can move on with the box itself. And to begin with, we need to measure the exact amount of leather that we'll use for our lining. So in this case, I use my metallic ruler to measure both parts and cut them as precise as possible using my X-Acto knife. To glue the new lining to the inner faces of the box, I first applied some glue to a small section of the upper piece and glued that part only with the pigskin. The contact glue becomes very sticky when dry, and I could cover the entire surface with glue and then try to put the lining in one go, but that's very risky, since because it's a strong glue, if I mess it up, it would be very hard to remove the leather quickly without damaging it. So to avoid any accidents, it's best to go slow during this process. Once the lining is glued to the walls of the box, we need to remove any wrinkles that are left, and for that I'm using a simple card and press it against the lining while the glue is still fresh. Also, if there's any excess of glue left on the sides, you can remove them easily by rubbing it with your fingers once it's dried out. Repeat the process for the other part of the box and then assemble the walls to the box. You can see this change in color of the lining makes it look very different and with a fresh appearance. Now we need to work on the cushions, and to begin with, I'll be using a black chrome tan leather, and I started by cutting a small rectangle with my X-Acto knife and rounding the edges with a coin. Since I'm not following any template or exact measurement for this part, I'm just using a small coin, but if you're planning on making a similar project, you can use any rounded object that you wish. Then I marked the stitching holes with a diamond chisel and poly mallet and proceeded to cut out the interior foam for the inner structure of the cushions. So for this, I used some white foam, which is known as Eva foam. This is an amazing supply to give structure to any leather project, and for each cushion I used 2 foams. So after cutting the edges of the foams, I went on and glued them to the leather, and then glued the edges of the cushions together and perforated the entire assembly with the diamond chisels once again to make the stitching holes go throughout the entire piece. And after stitching the cushions, I removed any excess of leather from the sides and edges of the assembly and repeated this process 3 more times to have a total of 4 cushions in the end. Now, as a final touch to this box, in general the box is in good condition, but since I already restoring the inner part of the box, I went on and gave it a final polish on the outside using some brown leather polishing cream from Kiwi and a horsehair brush, as you can see here. Before applying the polishing cream, however, it is important to clean the surface of the leather, and to do so I used some leather soap and a small sponge to leave the leather as clean as possible before polishing it. And finally, there it is. Friends, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you did and wish to see more leather crafting projects, I invite you to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button and share the video so it can help it reach more people. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.